have to talk about the role. And we can talk about it, that's fine. I'm going to be a professional, that's what kind of is there, I said I have to be professional. Okay.
She always gives me a hard time, right?
Actually,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, can you grab that mic and give me a 1, 2 just real quick so I can get a level?
1, 2.
Yeah, you're good there. Okay. Yep. I think we're good. Ready when you are, Shamara.
Okay. It's 1013 The Big DM. Shamara and friends, welcome inside the show, friend, on this Thursday afternoon. Excited to be coming to you live from the White House, and I'm not sure how much bigger things could possibly get. The Big DM, we're at the big White House. This is a beautiful campus, by the way. Can we call it a campus or the grounds? Oh, by the way, Mayor Steve Benjamin is here with us. There was no way I was just going to sneak into the White House by myself, right?
Shamara's trying her very best to pretend we're not friends. No, it's great to have you here and have so many wonderful leaders from South Carolina here. And obviously, the Big DM has just been, I think, a pillar of civil society in South Carolina for so long. No better person and station to have here with us today.
And thank you. You know, so now I can take the mask off because I definitely don't want to pretend that we're not friends. High five, what's up, man? Oh my gosh. So listen, I was too excited to get this invitation from Mayor Steve Benjamin to come to the White House. It's all about the South Carolina Communities in Action Day right here, and it's all about investing in America. And you guys know that I'm usually talking like out the side of my neck. And it's kind of cool sometimes to dabble in a little politics because it's good to know what it is that you're getting yourself into. And again, all things usually start fundamentally at a bottom level. Let's just say that. So to bring it all back home to South Carolina, thank you. But I definitely want to talk about this new role, the Director of Public Engagement. Congratulations, Mayor Steve Benjamin.
Thank you. A month on the job as a Senior Advisor to the President. I direct Office of Public Engagement, which is known as the front door to the White House. All of our external partnerships, business, labor, wonderful community groups, folks doing the amazing civil rights work on the ground, dealing with major issues like gun violence and these amazing issues around climate activism of our youth. There's just so much that comes to our office. But these are the days that are most important. You know, it's one thing to go out and talk about the historic investments that the Biden-Harris administration has made in this country. It's another thing actually to listen to communities, share the successes, but really listening and making sure that you do it with my grandmother would always say, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You listen twice as much as you talk. And this is an opportunity to bring in several dozen leaders from across our state and actually make sure we do good, thoughtful, constructive criticism as we also share the amazing successes that we're seeing together because of the leadership of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yes, applaud that invisible producer back there at the Big DM studio again. Coming to you live from the White House, we're chatting with Mayor Steve Benjamin and his new role, still kind of new, right?
Oh, yeah.
Director of Public Engagement. So how are we going to get this message to the audience today? Because most people, when I say like I don't have too much political knowledge about myself, and I believe that you know that, you know what I mean? I'm like, who am I voting for? You know, I'm more of an action person. You can tell me everything that you want to tell me. You can show me the blueprint to whatever you want to show me the blueprint to. But until I see you actually build it up and make it happen, I'm not much of a believer. So how are we going to get those folks to believing in this messaging?
Sure, no, and I think that's why this listening session is so important. You know, we're a big believer that activism without action is just a conversation. I mean, you have to have action. And I would come up here when I served as mayor, you know, almost every other week for an infrastructure week. We never had an infrastructure bill because of the leadership of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Never had the bipartisan infrastructure law that's literally sending billions of dollars to South Carolina, 99 infrastructure projects underway right now across our state because of this law. Wonderful partnerships with the private sector. That's also from BMW on down to Scott Motors in Columbia and all across the state. We're seeing tens of billions invested from the private sector, seeded by the investment in the CHIPS bill and the Inflation Reduction Act. All history-making legislation that's repatriating our tax dollars back to our communities, back to South Carolina. in ways that people can feel. And you say you're not informed, you're very informed. You kept me informed of major issues. But seeing these major investments in the Inflation Reduction Act hitting home by reducing the price of insulin.
Listen.
Some people call it diabetes in my family. My mom grew up in Orange Road, we call it sugar.
My sugar.
My sugar's up. Now capping insulin costs in a way that makes it affordable to every family at $35. I mean, these are real successes, and we have to make sure we're spending the time communicating these successes and letting people know how it hits at home and at the kitchen table.
And how they can actually take advantage of it, because if you don't know, you just don't know. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And folks complain about how radio is like this dinosaur, but let's just keep it being here, okay? Since we're friends, not everybody has access to a satellite or Sirius, so to say, or the internet to actually listen to those things. So again, we're excited to be right here at the White House, the Big DM, and getting this messaging out to you guys live and locally right there in the community.
Well, no,
so just wanted to say that.
Radio is not a dinosaur.
That's what folks would argue, though.
But you are a trusted voice.
Thank you.
There was a time when three older guys would pop on the news at 6:30 in the evening and tell everybody what's happening in the world, and you got a little bit of news from your shock jock in the morning and the drive home, and the world's much simpler. Now you get it from 200 sources, literally, every single morning. So people have chosen who they want to trust for their news, and they trust you. So it is not all dinosaurs.
I just wanted to say that, since we're friends, for all those non-believers out there, because it's a big deal. We're at the White House, baby. And the Director of Public Engagement, Mayor Steve Benjamin, chose us to come out here and get this messaging out to you. Hey, listen, we'll be back inside the show. Welcome again, Shamara and friends. It's 101.3 The Big DM.